I am the oracle Apollo. Come share your light with me. These messages I follow, restoring balance unto thee. Do not be afraid, you're a part of saving grace. Do not hesitate, let's reignite your faith. Divine encounters are alive. Divine encounters, our lives designed. I am the oracle Apollo.
Welcome to Divine Encounters. I am your Aquarius water-bringing hostess. Recently, I learned that is a lie, or not a lie. In Vedic astrology, I'm a Capricorn. It's okay. Welcome to Divine Encounters. Today, we're going to be challenging your perspective, hopefully expanding something and bringing something new into your awareness field. This show is all about consciousness and vibrational expansion. So please hang out with us today in this feed. We're going to do the good news, a message for the collective. We're going to raise your vibration with a divine experience, build your intuition with the Apollo games. And of course, we have a supernatural weekly story time, and Jerry's going to be our guest today. He's going to tell you guys all about a wonderful supernatural experience that he had in Italy. And of course, every Wednesday night, one of you wonderful viewers has the opportunity to win a personal angel reading with moi. And all you have to do is share this feed to one person or comment one of your friends' names here in the comment section below. And if you are on YouTube, you can go ahead and just comment one of your friends' names below, or just let me know that you shared on a different platform, and that's totally fine. And so, yeah, thank you all for being here so much. But before we get into anything today, I want to make sure you have your high quality H2O. I already drank most of mine, as you can see, while I was in the green room hanging out with Jerry. But don't worry, I have a backup plan right here. Yes, super hydration. So make sure you have that with you during all of these feeds, because we're shifting your energy and electricity flows best through water. So to your health, wealth, and prosperity. Yes. Super excited to be here today. Hi, Linda. Thank you for being here. Allison, I see that you've shared. Thank you so much for sharing. Hello, Mr. Robert, which was our last week's winner. Thank you for being here as well. And all you have to do is share. Oh, you're also a Capricorn. Hey, love from Northern Ireland. I have not been there yet. I would love to go there someday. Everything seems to be so beautiful there, and I couldn't even imagine. It's probably breathtaking in person. If this is your first time watching, make sure you like and subscribe. I live stream every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday nights, I bring you your horoscopes live in random order. We have a lot of fun with this as well. And if you want to be a guest on my show because you've had a supernatural experience, please email me at divineencounters@e360tv.com. All right. So let's go ahead now and bring our guest of the night, Mr. Jerry, on board. And throw up your hearts on that screen. Throw some emojis right there of the candle or of the heart so we can bring love and light into the feed. Jerry.
Hello, Oracle. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope the masseuse was treating you really nicely in that green room back there.
Very luxurious back here.
Thank you for being here. Can you let people know at home a little bit about yourself, who you are, and why you've arrived today?
Sure. I'm from Philadelphia originally, and I live in Havertown, Pennsylvania. And I've been on a spiritual journey now. Well, I could say my whole life, but a conscious spiritual journey since around 2010. So, around 11 years. And it's been quite a journey. And I was thinking about this topic today, and I have some interesting stories to share about connecting to divinity. I believe that everybody connects to the divine, whether they know it or not, and to the supernatural. But I wanted to share a couple stories about how I started to realize that it's something that not only happens, but can be created as well.
Wow. And I love that. And that's exactly what this platform is for, to allow other people to recognize how that is occurring naturally in their life and that it's actually just super that it happens.
Well,
So, go
there's
ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to share that, like, there's a difference between it happening naturally and not being aware of it, or consciously knowing that it's happening and taking the steps to, make that more of a regular awareness for yourself.
Yes, being the facilitator in that sense.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I like to start every episode, Jerry, with something that we call the good news. And it's basically a message for the collective. So to that, I say, what's good? Okay, so today's card is quieting the mind, which I think is very fitting for the opening that Jerry just gave us. The key concepts here are meditation, a commitment, the need for silence, peace within despite chaotic outer conditions, letting go of the monkey mind, and mindfulness. This card says life is chaotic, busy, loud, frantic, and overwhelming. Some days, all that noise is like the roar of thunder echoing around you, and it feels as if you're being pummeled by a rainstorm. Isn't this why we take vacations to get away to somewhere peaceful? In spite of the surroundings of the world today, you need to slow down and find a bit of peace. So go ahead and take a deep breath right now as you listen to this. Make a commitment to be still. And if only for 5 minutes, count your breaths. Be mindful of every one of them. Know that you have all the time in the world to do the things that need doing. Everything is perfect just the way it is. Our core beliefs about the world originate in our thoughts and feelings, which then become our perceptions. If our thoughts are all over the place, that is how we will experience the outer world. But that, if the outer world didn't matter at all, what if it didn't matter at all? What if at our center there were a place that is always calm, where the mind doesn't have a million things to say, where problems and challenges aren't nearly as impossible as we think they are? Today requires you to take an internal break and go to that silent space to regroup. Meditate on the stillness within. Choose a peaceful mind and nothing else. You will be amazed by how easily everything falls into place once you do. Fantastic. I love this. And I feel like, whoa, a lot of energy just came in. I feel like it really resonates with my day today. What do you think about this card, Jerry? Does anything stand out for you? Are there any words that trigger you?
I love it, actually. I think of the word surrender because, and as I share with some of these stories later, when your thoughts are all powerful and you believe that your thoughts are all that matters, and you can't imagine that there could be something else going on but what you think about on the day-to-day basis. Oh, I have to know how to do this, and I have to worry about this, and I have to ruminate about how I'm going to get something done. There's a lot of energy that goes into just trying to figure out life. And if you take a moment to quiet all that chatter and just surrender to that, maybe there's something else other than all that effort, that's when you start to hear things. And that's when you start to realize that there is something supernatural, as we say, going on that's available to be accessed when we quiet our mind.
Fantastic. And what about you guys at home? Is there anything in this message for the good news today that resonates with you, maybe brings some a new perspective or even triggering you? If there's anything that is highlighted in that message, put it in the comment section below. I would love to know what that is today. And this, I just noticed, Jerry, that the blessings card is actually support right here with Angel Celestina, which is really funny because we're talking about today how these experiences happen in our lives very naturally, conscious or unconscious, and how we can bring them to fruition and make it flow more effortlessly within our own lives. So I think that's really fun. I'm going to go ahead and claim that blessing for all of us right now. I'm claiming it. If anybody else is claiming it, make sure that you put that in the comment section below. And I don't know where my bell is at. Wait, I found it. It's kind of far away though. Hold on. I found it. We can't not claim the claim bell. There we go.
Wait.
Yes, we have to ring a ding ding it. All right. So thank you so much for that and your thoughts. We have here Linda is claiming support. I see you, Linda. Let's go ahead and ring that bell for Linda. Yes. I really enjoy that. And we're going to jump into we're going to be jumping into a divine experience, which is a 1 minute of energy that we're going to be clearing for all of us today. It's funny that the card is like, just take a moment. Just take a moment. And we're going to be taking a moment right now. So I think that's pretty on brand.
Let's do it.
All right. So the question I have for you, Jerry, and for those of you at home is to be really honest with yourself. And we're going to do a little self check from 1 to 10. Where are you at energetically in this moment? 1 being this is the least amount of energy I can harbor. 10 being absolutely fabulous. And put that in the comment section below now.
I can tell
Okay, Jerry.
Yeah, I can tell you where I'm at. I'm about a 7-8, which is an honest assessment.
Great. 8 is a really good number.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. That's a good day in my book, especially after the week we've had.
Right.
With this Mercury retrograde and everything else.
See you. Bye.
And for myself, I would say I'm at a good like 9.5. But I was like waning and waxing today. I think it's like the full moon energy has kind of got me like a little bit like too much. Like I was like at an 11. So I feel like it was very easy for me to burn out like the last 2 days. And it was very difficult to ground for myself the last 2 days. I've just been up here. And although that feels wonderful, I know what happens when you stay up here too long.
Right.
So that's when the fuses start to go.
Get outside barefoot in the lawn, ground some of that.
Yeah, I wish I had a lawn. And Robert, he's at a 6. He needs to clear some sinuses. All right, so let's jump in. Call the team. Prepare yourself. Have your feet touch the ground if you're sitting in a chair. And if you're laying down, just make sure you're not like in the fetal position, that you're nice and straight. All right. And if your neck's like tucked in, take that pillow off of your neck. All right, so let's call in the team and we're gonna do 1 minute of energy work. Okay, eyes are closed now. We're putting 1 minute on that clock. Go ahead and breathe in that beautiful golden light, clearing those sinuses. I can feel Robert's sinuses right now. Send that down to the ground, full expansion. Let the heat start to expand through your whole body. Just feel it going into your cells, into your pores, into your bloodstream, into your organs, your muscle, your tendons. Everywhere is being illuminated, expanded, rejuvenated. In addition, we're inviting Mother Moon to come in to allow us to be nurtured and release blocks that no longer serve us today. And we allow ourselves to have the greatest manifestation for our lives and our higher purpose. And this is our intention. 1 more breath in and let everything else go that no longer serves you. And bring your left and your right palm to touch one another in front of your heart space. And I bow to all of you. Namaste. Thank you, Mother Moon. I just felt grossness. I just swallowed grossness. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I felt the whole thing just clear. Robert says, lawns are nice. Used to mow them with enthusiasm. Yeah. It's good to have pleasure in the little things. That's what creates life, is all those little in-between moments.
That energy work, I felt like a baby blue kind of color, and I associate that with Mother Mary. So that was kind of interesting.
Well, that makes sense because we are inviting nurturing in.
Yeah.
And where are you at now? Number 1 to 10.
Oh, definitely 9 to 10. Like that boosted me up.
Yeah, I see it in the smile. It's like, yeah. For me, I'm there. I was there already, but now I'm like hitting the ceiling. So I'm good. My face hurts from like the smiling.
Right.
And what about you guys at home? Where are you at energetically from 1 to 10? Put that in the comment section below. If you felt anything, let us know. If you saw anything, let us know. I still feel energy like flowing through me. And I felt it a lot in my sinuses. And when you have I want to point out something. When you have sinuses that are constantly this acting dysfunctionally, like people who have a lot of sinus problems, that is because we are not allowing the acceptance of our gifts. So I want that to be food for thought for you guys today. Hi, Anna. She's at a 6 and a 7. I could feel Anna clearing right here. And Linda is feeling more relaxed. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Jerry, we're about to jump into all about you now.
Cool.
And I don't mean to like just throw you into the wind or anything, but I hear you have this wonderful supernatural story time. So I hope you have a good beginning point and frame of reference.
Yep.
And here's what you all came for.
Cool. Thanks very much, Oracle.
All right, hold on 1 second, friend. Let's do it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I was reflecting on this time of year, like October, the fall, and I was remembering some times in the past where I've had what you would call supernatural or divine experiences that happened this time of year. And what's interesting about it is they were experiences that I set out to create and consciously witnessed from that creation. And before I start talking about that, I wanted to just share that the very first time that I realized that there might be something more to life than what everybody sees, in front of their face every day. And that was about 10, 11 years ago. I had a friend who you might call a little bit like out in outer space. She's a earth goddess, kind of, does lots of things that are very out there. Nobody knows about that at all, right? But she, at the time, I was not that way. I was a very sort of like, prove it to me kind of guy. And I remember, I want to share this because at the very beginning, I just want to show the level of like how far I've come. Because at the very beginning, when I would listen to her talk, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, my angels, they work with me every day and they help me get parking and blah blah blah." And I was like, my mind at that time was,
Who's this crazy lady?
yeah, are you kidding? These angels are busy. They don't have time for you and your parking. You're so egotistical. You're ridiculous. And sure enough, spirit works in magical and mystical ways. There was some circumstance, a month or two later where I was desperate for parking in Center City, Philly. And some voice in my head said, "Why don't you ask for a spot?" And I was like, ugh, you know what? Fine. I'm super late. Please help me get a spot, angels. Immediately, like within 2 seconds, this amazing spot opened up right in front of me. And I was sitting there like dumbfounded. Like, what just happened? And it started this whole quest of like, is this possible that there could be something to this crazy lady's thinking? And so that's how far I've come to now be in a place where I truly believe in spirit connections and that we're divine beings that are connected to divinity all the time. And it's just a matter of whether or not we want to acknowledge that and also what we want to do with that energy, because we're creating all the time. We can create beautiful miracles and we can create chaos. And I think all of us do a little bit of each, but the story that I wanted to share was about Italy in, I think it was 2015. I went over there for a wedding That was like in Florence, 75 of my friends. It wasn't my wedding, it was a good friend of mine. And it was just like this amazing event, and everyone was flying high. And I thought it would be a good time for me to try and do some energy experiments because I had already been on a spiritual path and I had already been working on how do I control or at least be aware of the miracles and the connections that are going on around me. So I was using this book, E Squared by Pam Grout, which is a really good book for, it's broken down into literally intention energy experiments where you set an intention to see something or experience something and you give it a time frame and you believe in it and then you watch it unfold. And so the first one that I did in Italy was you had to manifest a miracle, like a sign from God within 24 hours. And that was your intention, and that's what you set out to do. And, I mean, I went into this with not being positive what would happen because you leave your mind open to whatever will happen is going to happen. And I did that. And one of the keys that I've found for making these conscious miracles or supernatural experiences happen is the concept of the rotisserie chicken, the Ron Popeil's rotisserie chicken. They would say on those commercials, set it and forget it. Like there is a real key there that you have to kind of like, this has been my experience. You have to like set the intention and just trust that the rest is handled. That's why I like the whole surrendering thing. It's really critical because if we're trying to like, oh, I gotta make this, it just messes up the gears. For me personally, that's been my experience. So I set that intention and I forgot about it. And I went about my day and I was like, well, it's either going to happen or it's going to not. And then the next day, within about 18 hours or so, I was outside my hotel. It was in the Cinque Terre area of Italy, which if anyone's been there, it's beautiful, right along the coast. And I was walking out down towards the water. And I turned back towards where my hotel was. And what appeared in front of me, which I can't even believe that this happened, was this enormous, it wasn't raining, this enormous rainbow, full arc, came like from one side of the water over to the other, directly down onto my hotel. Like the end of the rainbow was on the hotel where I was staying. And I was just like, well, that's a sign of God. I was like, that's as clear as you get. Like, I guess I had set, an intention that it was unmistakable. So
I got to interrupt you for like 2 seconds. So tell me how. I haven't seen rainbows in years. You're talking to me about rainbows right now. And I saw a big full rainbow, humongous, biggest rainbow I ever saw last week. It was part of our game last week. That was the first time I seen it in years. And then yesterday I saw another huge, massive rainbow. And now you're talking about rainbows.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Spirit, what you trying to tell me, Spirit? I see you.
You're riding on a rainbow, Oracle. So that was amazing. And I was like, all right, we're going to go 2 for 2 here. And we're going to do chapter 2 or whatever it was in the book, which was the next experiment. And that was where you needed to consciously manifest 2 things within 48 hours. And I wanted it to make it difficult, but not like what I deemed impossible. So I set the intention that I wanted to see butterflies and dragonflies within 48 hours. And it was fairly difficult because it's cold out. It was in October. There's no butterflies or dragonflies flying around. And I set that intention, said, let's see what happens. And I forgot about it. And I was flying back from Italy to New York because I was going up to the Mega Institute from there to have a retreat. And while I was when I flew back to New York, I was staying at a friend's house in Brooklyn, and he was working during the day. And I was like, well, I'll just go out and I'll do some antique shopping or something on Smith Street. And so I was walking around. This is within 24 hours. I was walking around and I go into an antique shop, and on the wall, the entire wall was taxidermied butterflies in like glass cases, and they were the location where these butterflies were from was from exactly where I was in Italy, which was insane. I was like, wow, that's a bonus. Like, they even added some specificity of we're going to show you butterflies from Italy.
They like to show off.
Right. So that was like, I was like, all right, we're on a roll here. This is unbelievable. And I still, so I was like, okay, well, that's butterflies, dragonflies. Well, we'll see. And so it was about a day later. I only had 48 hours to make this happen. So the time specificity is really good because it kind of like keeps you on track. But you're going to be not necessarily looking for it, but if it happens, that's added confirmation for this experience. So I had about another day, and I drove up to Omega Institute, and I was actually coincidentally seeing John of God back then. That was okay, and it was a big deal for me at the time. So and I remember that the time was running down. It was pretty close. We were like 47 hours. It was and I was starting to think, okay, well, maybe 1 out of 2 is not bad. And we get in line to go into the the altar area or the healing area, and it's cold out. It's pretty darn cold out, and it was raining to boot. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm not gonna see a dragonfly. And I'm standing in line, and it's in an outdoor tent, like one of these big, like kind of wedding kind of tents, but enormous. And I'm just standing there waiting, and I look up at the tent line, and hanging from like a little web there is a dragonfly, like a real dragonfly. So, all right, I was just like, taking a double take. And what's really interesting is, I could have seen like pictures of dragonflies, pictures of butterflies. I actually co-consciously created with divinity, seeing real butterflies and real dragonflies, like the actual creatures in cold October. And to me, these kinds of what I consider to be miracles were co-created with my consciousness and in my intention. And so not only to just show like that miracles are possible, but that how much power and influence we have to create in our lives, to consciously create in our lives, to create miracles or to create not so great experiences, but we're doing it all the time. And these kinds of experiments and this type of mindset really sets us apart from being at the mercy of life to being more in charge of our life and more in I think life becomes more enjoyable when for me, I think life is more enjoyable. It's a responsibility because what you've created with divinity in your physical experience, you've had a big part in it. So there's a responsibility to say, well, what did I create and what does that mean? But it also gives you a lot of power because you can turn around and create something else. One of the things that I've been thinking about recently is I've created a lot of beauty in my life. And this is a time in a lot of people's lives that's challenging right now. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of changes, not a lot of experiences that used to go on before aren't going on as much. And so people can like look, be, at least for me, I was a little like whimsical and kind of reminiscing about an easier time when things were nonchalant and, yeah, let's go out drinking tonight, guys, or whatever. Um, and I could look at that and say that that was a time gone by, or I can look at it as I created that back then and I can create something else now. It's much more empowering than if you don't believe that you can be a part of creation now, then you're at the mercy of this world that you're just here to experience. But it's much more empowering to be able to say, you know what, I'm a part of this experience, I'm a part of this creation, and I can continue to create day by day new experiences that I love, or new experiences that will challenge me. But I can continue to believe that through my life with divinity as a part of my experience, I can grow, I can change, I can enjoy life, and the world is basically what I want to make it. And that's what I was thinking about. Like, this time of year, October's traditionally the thinning of the veil, and um, All Saints Day and Halloween. It's just a time when spirit is very present. And the story that I shared from Italy, it was around this time of year, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that that was a big part of my experience as well. So that's about it in a nutshell.
Thank you, friend. And that's super interesting. And that brought me so much like excitement. I felt like such childlike energy coming through you in the moments that you're letting us share your story with you. And I'm gonna go get that book myself because that book sounds really interesting and fun,
Oh yeah,
I would say.
she's got like a deck of cards too. So if you like to use oracle cards and things like that, there's one that goes with the book, and there's also a follow up book called E Cubed. I don't have that one yet, but it's again another part of the series.
And it's interesting that all of these experiences, your beginning experiences, started unfolding around this time of year when everything is like, I would say, like more magical than the rest of the year. Because that's my story too. When I started opening up to my mediumship, it was during this time of the year. And I remember one of the first instances where I was like, what is happening? And it was like 3 in the morning. This time of year, I'm usually up like all night, all the way through winter. I'm like up till like sunrise. It's been like that since I was about 14. And so I went outside, let the dog out, 3-ish in the morning, and he bolts right off the porch. And my dog, he's a Maltese Chihuahua, so he can fit through between the gate. And so I'm like, oh, I ran back in. I'm like running around the house trying to find some pants, run outside. It's super cold outside. And he runs a few houses away from mine. I live in row homes, so we're all attached for those of you who don't know. So it's like you could literally knock on the neighbor's door by reaching your arm out and hitting the door next door. So he's like 3 houses down and he's barking at this man on the porch. So I see the man on the porch. The man looks super underwhelmed that this little dog is barking at him at 3 in the morning. And I feel mortified and embarrassed, frankly, because I'm like, oh no, like he's about to curse me out. Like his face was just like, and I'm like, he's really like just about to curse me out. So I'm like, hobbling over there real quick, barefoot, everything's cold. I grab Cooper, I look down at the floor and I take a breath. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Because he's like on his stoop. He's on the stoop of his porch. So I grab Cooper, I look up and I'm about to say, sorry, sir, because he's barking at you. And when I looked up, there was no man.
Wow, that's cool.
but he was opaque and solid when it wasn't like I glanced at him and then looked away. Like I was like looking at him and I'm like, okay, he's really gunning for me. Just in his expression. But there was no man. And that was the beginning of a couple of Halloweens like that. But it became more prevalent. I started to see people walk down the street. um I saw girls in like Catholic school uniforms walking down the street, and they were so opaque, which means solid for those of you who don't know, that you would not be able to differentiate them from a regular day-to-day person. And I kind of came to accept that, and then I expected it. It was first, it was like, oh, what's happening? But then it was just like, oh, Halloween's coming. Ooh, scary. And then oh, okay, this thing's happening again. And then ooh, yay, Halloween's coming. The cool stuff's about to happen. And it took about 3 or 4 Halloweens, honestly, to like really come to that acceptance and excitement point. And
Mhm.
then after that, it just didn't go away. It just kind of just like opened the floodgate. And from then on, everything was just like, oh, like, I'm talking to like, dead people all the time. It's like totally normal. It's
That's
like,
amazing.
that's
Yeah,
just my world now.
a lot of my experiences that have been magical, they've been around synchronicity, like
Mm.
around things that they're kind of unexplainable. Like another, so after that experience in Italy and then going up in New York and seeing these things, this continues on. Like it's just sort of a day to day kind of thing where I will just have these kinds of experiences. There was a there was a time. Might not seem significant, but there was a time where I had gone somewhere and I had lost my credit card,
Mm.
and it was about 20 minutes from my home, and I realized that it was missing, and I thought, well, maybe I'll go back to where I thought I had it last, and I'll ask if anyone saw anything, and there was just nothing. There was just nothing at all. I had walked into the building. Walked all around, couldn't find anything. And then I come outside of the building and I closed my eyes and I prayed. I think it was Saint Anthony. I'm not even Christian, I was raised Jewish, but like I think it was whoever you were supposed to pray to.
I do St. Anthony too. If you guys have no clue, like if you lose something, like seriously, I don't know how you say it, but I say St. Anthony, something's lost and must be found. And then I describe what I lost. But go ahead, go ahead,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I just thought the thought. I was like,
That's
well,
perfect.
I think Saint Anthony, you're the one to ask, and I'm going to ask. And I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes, and my credit card was on the ground at my feet. Like, what, and it was interesting because I was looking in that direction and there was a sun glare that I couldn't see
Mm.
anything. And when I closed my eyes and opened my eyes, the glare was gone and there it was at my feet immediately after I prayed. I was like,
That's amazing.
yeah, I was like, yo, that's magic, you know?
You can't make this stuff up, guys.
Yeah. So it's
You
like,
bel
I just encourage people to like, if you don't believe in magic, give it a shot. You know,
Yeah.
what do you have to lose except
N
your rigid beliefs that magic doesn't exist?
Exactly. Life becomes it's like a giant, um, what is the word for that? It's like when you play a game and they hide things and you try to, like, find them.
Like a scavenger hunt?
A scavenger hunt. That's what life becomes. I feel like my whole life is a scavenger hunt. Spirit will be like, "Okay, I gotta find this little odd thing." Like, when I was sitting in the Obidosh castle and I was like, "Spirit, did I miss the person I was supposed to find?" You guys can go check out that episode, the 2-hour special of, International Divine Encounters. But I was like, "Spirit, did I lose the person that I was trying to find?" And then they showed me this man on a bicycle wearing like the full gear, like when you're in a marathon. Then the next day, I was walking along the castle walls, and this guy started running, and it caught my attention. And he was on the castle wall running with the same clothes that I saw the day before. And I was like, I'm on track. Like, yeah. Like, I was looking for this, they're showing you certain signs, and we sometimes think they're like deja vus, or we think that they're like, something that doesn't matter. But really, it all matters. You
Yeah.
just got to be aware that it's happening.
Like the numbers are a big one that a lot of people get started into. Oh, why do I keep seeing 1111? Well, because somebody wants to let you know that magic exists in the world.
Yes, absolutely. And for me lately, I've been getting a lot of 1, 2, and 2, 1. So that's kind of like what you're, looking for is seeking you in return. And I know I'm like, oh, I'm ready for it, baby. Bring it to mama. Bring it to mama, spirit. I'm right here. Got my catcher mate open. Let's go. That left chakra nice and open.
All right. Can't wait to see what that is.
Uh-huh. Oh, this is awesome. And I like 2112. Yes, yes, absolutely. And everything does matter. So let's jump in now. Everybody's nice and high vibe. And I saw Robert that you mentioned you had energy flowing through you. Welcome to Divine Encounters. These things happen. And we're gonna play a little game so that Jerry can redeem himself.
Yeah. This is always a fun exercise.
Thank you, Judith, for your beautiful comments too. You're being reciprocal with energy, and that's fantastic. So thank you so much for that. And for being here, everybody for being here. So we're gonna play a game now. It's called the Apollo Games. And this is to inspire you and assist you in building your intuition. And if you like this game, I actually post a daily game on my TikTok, the Oracle of Apollo. There's like, I don't know, like 2,000 videos on there. So if you need something to binge, you guys can go there and just practice for like hours. And we're going to test your intuition. So let's go ahead, get the kitties, get the husband, get the wife, throw some money down, but don't tell me because that might be illegal. And then let's see what your intuition's telling you today. Alrighty. All right. So the question today is basically, what am I about to reveal? And if you get this correct, you're going to get from me the highly coveted social distancing high five.
What am I about to reveal? Rotary phone, phone book, pager, phone booth. Put your prediction in the comments section below now. Reveal time.
Okay, so it was rotary phone. I forgot what the other options were.
It was pager, phone booth, and one other.
And phone book. Yeah, rotary phone, phone book, pager, and phone booth. Okay, so you guys have until this little transition to put your comments in the comment section below. I feel some confidence coming off of some of these predictions here in the comment section. I feel you, Anna. Okay, Jerry, you're first. What do you want to say?
I want to say, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I want to say that. And I was getting like a black color and like the number 4. So that could either be pager or phone booth, I guess. But maybe I'll go with the pager since it probably could be black.
All right.
Could be
Anna is saying phone booth.
See, that's number 4.
Lori says pager. Linda says pager. Patty says rotary phone. And Robert says rotary phone. Okay, so do you want to finalize your answer after seeing what everybody else is predicting?
Yeah, I'm going with pager. We'll see what happens.
All right, he's locking it in for the $1 million that I don't have.
No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah. Okay. Here's your answer, ladies and gents.
What am I about to reveal? Rotary phone, phone book, pager, phone booth. Put your prediction in the comments section below now. Reveal time. Did you say phone booth?
See, I had this is so funny because beforehand, like it was 4, 4, 4, and I'm like, well, do I listen to that? Well, maybe not.
High five to you guys who got it right at home. I know Anna got it right, so congratulations. If you got it on the replay, hashtag replay winner. That's super spectacular. I took that picture in the UK, and I don't know why I didn't take a picture next to it. I just took a picture of it, which looking back at it, I'm just like, oh wait. It's okay though. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for playing that with us. So, like I said, every week there's a winner. However, sometimes my winners don't show up, and my winner has not shown up today. If you want to be a winner and get a personal reading right here live on Divine Encounters, all you have to do is share this one time. And not only the incentive is to win, but you're also being a blessing for the program, because we're trying to get this information out to everyone so that they can recognize the support in their own lives, and that these things don't just happen to certain people. They can happen to everyone, and they're worthy of receiving divine intervention and divine support. And yeah, so please share this feed one time or comment one person's name in the comment section below. And thank you for being a blessing here today. Okay, so we're going to go into the midweek collective energy check-in, which is basically the forecast for the rest of the week. Jerry, I'm going to pop you back into the back room. I think I have some cucumber water back there and some Cheez-Its, but the Cheez-Its might be expired, so just be careful, okay?
You got it.
All right, ladies and gents, we're going to jump into the midweek collective energy check-in, see what your blessings are and the energy for the rest of the week. And these are timeless, so whenever you hear this message, it's when it's for you.
There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me.
Alrighty. So here we are with the midweek collective energy check-in. Anna, thank you so much. And Anna, I would love for you to come on here too if you want to share a story. Because I feel like you probably have a story to share. Thank you, Patty, so much for sharing as well. All right, so I have angels touching me. I was like, can you touch me somewhere else other than my nose? Anyways, so here we have what you need to know, how you can grow, and what you need to let go of cards in that order. All right, so first card up here, we have, let's zoom in. I did not click it. There we go. All right, 6 of Fire. Victory. Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. I really love this. This 6 of Fire. We see here that the man is atop of horse. So there's an acknowledgement from his peers or his friends or his family here. There's accolades. There's flowers here. So there is good news on the horizon for us. This is the perfect time because we're in that season for harvest. So what you've been working on has come to a head and people are recognizing your hard work. You might get that pat at the back, or hear something or a statement that someone doesn't typically say to you, or it might be something even bigger, getting celebrated publicly. So there is no limit to that, but recognize that you've done a good job. So kudos to all of you at home. Here we have how we can grow vast, independent. Your independence is the foundation for your strength and success. I really like this card as well because it gives me like the 9 of Pentacles kind of vibe where the woman, it doesn't have to be a woman. I'm just, this is just what we're going with the card right now. But the woman in the traditional tarot is surrounded by 9 pentacles, representing that she has made her mark herself. She has climbed the ladder herself. She's like Beyonce, Miss Independent. So it's kind of like, I have brought all this success and riches and this big banquets of feast. I've created it. So what you've worked on, like in the first card, that bounty, that harvest, it is because of your hard work. You've put the effort in. No one can take that away from you. So celebrate. I want to say celebrate yourself. And you can call in Lady Bast, Egyptian goddess here, cat goddess. You can call in Lady Bass to assist you to celebrate yourself. Sometimes we feel like we're not worthy of celebrating ourselves, or we make ourselves small because we don't want anyone to think that we're too full of ourselves. But sweetheart, what I have to say about that is, if you ain't full of yourself, what are you full of? Food for thought. Okay. And then we have here what we need to let go. Well, this is in reverse too, so we're letting go of something. Ooh, we got luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. And we have this Artemis bow and arrow kind of vibe here right now. And it's like your focus and intentionality has caused you to have fortune in your life. So luck is that energy, that opportunity meeting moment. So that means you've created something through your mind, through your energy, through your emotions. You've done the work physically. That's why we have the accolades and the independence. You've physically done it, but then you've also energetically done it, and you've raised your vibrational frequency to a point where you have magnetized luck and success. So expect luck, expect fortunate moments. So happenstance, coincidences. I'm using air quotes because these are the quotes that we use when we're using words that deceive. Words that deceive are just like saying happenstance because it's purposeful. It's on purpose for a purpose. It doesn't just happen. You've magnetized it. You've created it. Okay, and then we have here, so basically let go of fear is what the opposite energy is of luck. Let go of I'm unlucky or I'm not worthy. Let those things go. They don't serve you. Okay, we have an animal assisting us this week. We have kangaroo in the house. Be a force for good. So if you're getting these accolades, you have this new energy, you have this luck, make sure that you're the miracle, that you're the blessing as well, because you're going to create more of that for yourself in doing so. And we have a message from heaven here in case you have a loved one in heaven right now. And they want you to know that you are never alone. And I love this because it has that lighthouse right here, kind of like showing off the light. Like we will always assist you when you feel like you're in the dark, when you need to find your way. We're actually guiding you. So call upon us is what I want to say here. Lean on us. We're stepping into the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, right? Just in a few days from now. So this is a perfect time to call on your ancestors and to lean on them, to help them show you a new path or clear a current path that you have on. They want you to be more successful than they were, okay? So they are always willing to help you. And we have your angel blessing. Now, these are not a message, but a blessing in itself. So the blessing is Angel Faith blessing you with balance, which you guys are obviously demonstrating because you're bringing all these wonderful, creative, and influential things into your field, and kindness, which was that kangaroo energy, which is be the force for good. So it's not just the message from them, but they're bringing it into your field. It is being expedited right now into your field. So go ahead and claim that because the angels always want to work with you, but they respect your free will. So I hope this serves you. Claim your blessings in the comment section below. I know I am.
I'll take that energy. That's awesome.
Boop, boop, boop. Claiming that for all of you.
Right.
Any thoughts on this, friend?
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, what resonated was almost like the prodigal son or daughter returns. You've been in the battle, and now you've come home to a celebration because you've advanced whatever cause you were fighting for, whether it's your personal growth or some other effort that you were putting into a struggle, and you've come through it. And now you're back home with the loved ones, giving you support. Everyone's around you. You've changed. You've grown in your independence because of the experience that you went through. And now you're in a new place. And there's all kinds of things that are beautiful coming to you. Balance, kindness, everything you've mentioned. So I think it's beautiful.
I'm claiming this super hard because I feel like part of my journey to Italy was to step into a more independent role in my own life. And for those of you who know my backstory, you know, many years ago, and Jerry knows because Jerry's one of my coaches, and I was fully disabled. So this last year and a half or so, 2 years, like COVID time, I've been able to do exponentially much more. And to sit here and say today that I was able to go to 3 countries, you know, navigate that, focus on that, using my mental energy, my physical energy when I would pass out more than 24 times a month several years ago, and to be able to do that and tackle it. I'm not going to say fearless, definitely much fear, but courageously tackle it. I feel like the purpose of that was to show myself, look how far you've come, look how much you've healed, and you're continuing in that healing process that doesn't have a destination, and it's all about the journey, and it's like the beautiful flower unfolding. But it really made me respect my body. Now I will say I did pass out one time for a very short time, but that's okay because that's not a big deal. It was one time. So, but then you keep going, you keep trucking, you keep moving forward. And I feel like the angels, and I can only speak for myself, so I'm just using what we just read, but I feel like the angels are recognizing that and giving me my own accolades in my inner world.
Would you have appreciated that experience as much if you had not gone through what you had gone through to where you are now. Like that can be the beauty of the struggle, is that you have an appreciation for things that maybe other people who have not gone through what you went through
Yes, I,
have.
I I agree with you, and I have a completely different set of eyes, and this is why I do the work I do, so that other people don't have to sit in the suffering I sat for the amount of time that I sat. That there is another way. I appreciate life to a different extent, and sometimes people kind of look at me like, "Why are you so grateful for something so minuscule?" And it's because when you are in the prison of your own body and everything is taken from you, where you need assistance to just go to the bathroom and then you don't, you really appreciate your legs and your feet.
Yeah, that's for
And you
I mean,
appreciate your blood pressure staying level.
not everybody has to go to the bottom
No,
to like work their way up, but once you are there, there's only one way to go, and that's up.
sure. But
So a lot of us, including me, I've had a health journey as well. A lot of us choose these types of experiences to learn
yes,
to appreciate, and also to help others to see that as well. How life can be taken for granted, and can also be appreciated for the journey back from something that has been really difficult.
absolutely. And there's beauty in contrast. So that's very apparent to me in the now. In the now. And if you would have told me in the very, very beginning of my journey, you chose this difficulty, I would have said, you better get out of here with that,
I
telling
mean,
me that I wanted to have this sickness. You better go somewhere. But then you learn, like, wait a minute.
some people relate what's going on collectively in the world as a similar journey of going from a place of difficulty, and then rising up out of it, and that we'll all collectively be at a much higher place where we appreciate simple things that we can't do as easily right now, whereas maybe before, going out drinking with the guys or whatever would not have had the same meaning as it would moving forward. And so there's like, you can kind of look at your own life and then look at the collective world and see parallels in the growth experiences that go on. That's what I believe.
Yeah. And for many of us, we get to this catalyst of either health or our environment collapses because we have so much suffering inside of us that it actually manifests as something physical, and that's different for everybody. And we don't change until we are in so much pain emotionally, mentally, or physically, and that's what is the guiding force for change. Otherwise, we just stay where we are. You ever seen a dog sit on something that looks very uncomfortable, and that dog won't move? He's just like, whatever, I'll deal with it until something hurts is
Oh,
when we change.
yeah. My analogy is like, if you're in a bed and if the lighting is perfect, the temperature is perfect, everything's comfortable, you're not getting out of bed.
No.
You're just going to stay there until something needs to happen, like you're hungry, you have to go to the bathroom, got to go to work. Then, so that's the catalyst to move, is the discomfort. And I actually like to refer to struggle as catalysts,
Mm-hmm.
because it puts less judgment on these experiences that can be negative or deemed difficult, but they cause something in us to have us move to a different state. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
And
what
I'm grateful to have met you and have you work on this path with me as well.
me too.
And thank you for being here today, Jerry, and for all of you guys at home. I hope this kind of gave you like some incentive to redirect energy in your life, expand your awareness, or even just start to question things. Question everything. Be the mother of all questions, questioners. Like, just do it. Because what this is going to do is going to provide answers. It's like ignorance is bliss because we don't know what questions to ask. But if you start off simply, you will recognize that it's not as simple as you thought. And now this is going to open a whole nother box of curiosities, which is going to tap into your inner child and manifest beautiful, wonderful, magnificent things into your life. And there I say miraculous. Thank you all. You are a blessing to me. I hope I was a blessing to you and that you're walking away from this program today feeling more full than what you came. May you all go in love, light, and wisdom. And I'll see you Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.
Divine.